Hello, good day. Today we are going to tackle about absolute value and opposite numbers for MEP 1 students or grade 7. Again, our first topic, absolute value and opposite numbers. Again, I am your mathematics teacher. I am Lainey P. Palacio. Here are the vocabulary words or terminologies in mathematics. The first are absolute value, opposite numbers, opposite numbers, integers, integers, units, units, between, between, distance, distance, positive integers, positive integers, negative integers, negative integers, symbol, symbol, greater than, greater than, less than, and equal to, equal to. So let's proceed. 1.1, the absolute value of an integers. Again, the definition of absolute value we have, absolute value is the distance from zero. The absolute value, just like distance, is always a positive. Here are the example we have. The absolute value of negative 2 is equal to 2. And the absolute value of 3 is equal to 3. Here are the lines here. How many units are there? Absolute value of 2, we have 2 units. So from the 0, 1 and 2. And from the absolute value 3, we have 3 units. 1, 2, and 3. Again, if we are talking about absolute value of an integer is its distance from 0 on a number line. The symbol for absolute value is, these are the symbol of absolute value. Okay, here are the examples. The absolute value of negative 3 is equal to 3. And the absolute value of 3 is equal to 3. Now, how many units are there? There are 3 units. So there are 3 units. So absolute values are never negative. Opposite integers have the same value. So therefore, the absolute value of 0 is equal to 0. So let's proceed. Here are the examples. The first example we have, find the absolute value of the given number on the number line. So as you can see here, this is the answer. So from 0 to negative 5 and 0 to positive 5. So in the above picture, the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. And the absolute value of 5 is 5. Therefore, how many units are there? There are 5 units. Okay, 5 units. Here are the examples. So from 0 to negative 6 and 0 to positive 6. How many units are there? There are 6 units. So in the above picture, the absolute value of negative 6 is 6, and the absolute value of 6 is 6. Here are the examples. So from 0 to negative 6 and 0 to positive 6. How many units are there? There are 6 units. So in the here 6 and 0 to positive 6. How many units are there? There are 6 units. So in the above picture, the absolute value of negative 6 is 6, and the absolute value of 6 is 6. Another examples. Number 2 example, we have draw the absolute value of a number. On the number line, the absolute value is 4 and negative 4. So here are the examples. So from 0 to negative 5, 0 to positive 5. How many units are there? There are 4 units. So as you can see from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the right side from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So another example, we have draw the absolute value of, a number on a number line. The absolute value is 6 and negative 6. So from 0 to negative 6, so 0 to positive 6. How many units are there? There are 6 units. So as you can see here, there are 6 units. Another examples. Number 2 example, we have draw the absolute value 1.2 symbol of absolute value. So here, the symbol for absolute value is two straight lines surrounding the numbers of expression for which you wish to indicate absolute value. So the absolute value of 6 is equal to 6 means the absolute value of 6 is 6. Therefore, here are the symbol of absolute value. Another examples. So as you can see the graph here from 0 to negative 5 and 0 to positive 5. So how many units are there? There are 3 units. So from 0 to negative positive 3, so we have 3 units. From 0 to negative 3, we have 3 units. Now the distance from 3 to 0 is equal to 3 units. The absolute value is 3, which is represented by the absolute value of 3. The absolute value of 3 is read as the absolute value of 3, which is equal to 3. The distance from negative 3 to 0 is equal to 3 units. The absolute value 3 is 3, which is represented by negative or the absolute value of negative 3. The absolute value of negative 3 is read as the absolute value of 3, which is equal to 3. Hence, the absolute value of 3 is equal to 3 and the absolute value of negative 3 is equal to 3. Here are the note or remark. Please remember this. A, let A be a number. Let A be a number. So, the absolute value of A is equal to A if A greater than 0. A if A greater than 0. And 0 if A is equal to 0. And negative A if A is less than 0. Here are the examples. As you can see here, we have A is equal to negative 2. This the absolute value of A is equal to the absolute value of negative 2 is equal to negative times negative 2 is equal to positive 2. Another, if b is equal to negative 6, thus the absolute value of b is equal to the absolute value of negative 6 is equal to negative, you multiply by negative 6 is equal to positive 6. And another example here, we have if c is equal to 8, thus the absolute value of c is equal to the absolute value of 8 is equal to 8. Here are the 1.3 opposite numbers. So let's proceed to opposite numbers. The absolute value of a positive integer will be equal to the absolute value of a negative integers when they have the same distance from 0. On a number line example, 4 and negative 4. Therefore, the opposite number for number 4 is negative 4, and the opposite number for negative 4 is a positive 4. Here are the graph or draw. You draw like this. So 0 to negative 5, from 0 to positive 5. How many units are there? There are 4 units. Thus, 4 is the opposite number of negative 4. And negative 4 is the opposite number of positive 4. Note that the opposite of 0 is 0 itself. If a is any number, the opposite number of a has only one number and is written as negative a. Now here are the exercises. Exercises for number 1. Fill in the blanks with the correct answers. So, example for that, number 1, we have the absolute value of negative 9 is blank. Number 2, the absolute values of 40 and that of negative 40 are blank. Number 3, the absolute value of blank and that of blank are 60. And number 4, the absolute value of blank and that of blank are 180. And number 5, the absolute value of 11 is blank. Again, let's answer for number 1 to 5. Number 1, the absolute value of negative 9 is 9. The absolute value of 40 and that of negative 40 are 40. The absolute value of negative 60 and that of 60 are 60. The absolute value of negative 180 and that of 180 are 180. And number 5, the absolute value of 11 is 11. Now, here are the answer key. So number 1, 9. Number 2, 40. Number 3, negative 60 and 60. Number 4, negative 180, 180, and 5. And number 5, 11. Now here, another exercise we have for number 2. Fill in the words greater than, less than, or equal to in the blanks, such that each sentence is true. Number 1, 48 blanks negative 48. Number 2, the absolute value of 135 blank, the absolute value of negative 135. Number 3, the absolute value of negative 110 blank, the absolute value of 90. The absolute value of negative 50 blank, the absolute value of negative 102. And number 5, the absolute value of negative 26 blank, the absolute value of negative 22. Now let's answer from number 1 to number 5. So number 1, 48 blank. So we have here greater than. So 48 greater than negative 48. Number 2, the absolute value of 135 is equal to the absolute value of negative 135. Number 3, the absolute value of negative 110 blank. So the answer is greater than the absolute value of 90. And number 4, the absolute value of negative 50 less than the absolute value of negative 102. Number 5, the absolute value of negative 26 greater than the absolute value of negative 22. Another, here are the exercises for number 3. Fill in greater than, less than, equal to in the blanks such that each sentence is true. Number 1, negative 42 blank 40. Number 2, absolute value of negative 46 blank 46. Number 3, the absolute value of 30 blank the absolute value of negative 35. Number 4, the absolute value of negative 91 blank the absolute value of 19. Number 5, the absolute value of 130 blank the absolute value of negative 310. Again, let's answer for number 1 to 5. Negative 42 less than 40. Number 2, absolute value negative 46 equal to 46. Absolute value of 30 less than absolute value negative 35. Absolute value negative 91 greater than absolute value of 19. Number 5, absolute value of 130 less than absolute value of negative 310. Therefore, here are the answer key from 1 to 5. Here are the exercises. Here are the exercises for number 4. Fill in the blanks with the correct answers. So we have number 1, the opposite number of negative 11 is blank. The opposite number 2, the opposite number of 240 is blank. Number 3, the opposite number of negative 370 is blank. Number 4, the opposite number of 560 is blank. And number 5, the opposite number of negative 2,810 is blank. Here are the answer key. Later, I will give it to you. So let's answer for number 1 to 5. Now, number 1, the opposite number of negative 11 is 11. The opposite number of 240 is negative 240. The opposite number of negative 370 is 370. The opposite number of 560 is negative 560, and the opposite number of negative 2,110 is 2,810. Okay, thank you. That is for today. Bye bye. See you next time.